charger. And the battery. Alright. We're going to remove all the bolts. So make it easier for installation. So first piece. Installed thusly. Okay. I'm not going to torque these down just yet. We're still going to be working on the placement of the parts. We have the rail, which the battery slides on. Set that up. Struggling here. There we go. Lock those in place. And the third piece. Okay. Now the battery should slide on nicely. Before that, I'm going to prep the rails. Okay, so we've removed the sliding rail from the battery, and we've installed it onto the rack using the bolts provided. There was some attached to the housing itself, and there was a couple extra in a bag that comes with the kit. So once we have the 5 bolts installed here on the bottom, the rail has been kind of set up here. We have the cover. This is where the housing of the controller will go. We have a small cover here to kind of close everything up in there. We have a key here, a locking mechanism to lock the battery in place. This is to prevent theft from when you have the bike locked up for a long period of time. So we're going to have that as well. The battery comes with the charging kit here. I'll put that aside for now. So the next step here is to mock up the rack to the bike here. We're going to do just a quick measurement to make sure everything's going to fit properly here, so we don't have to do any modifications. Again, this will just be just a slow process of just trying to get the spacing right. The rails on which the rack will sit has a number of holes in which that we could adjust the height depending on the size of the wheel, the tire. This will all change from bike to bike. Okay, So now we're just finishing up the last touches of installing the rack itself. We did a quick measurement here with the rack just to see which notch it'll sit on. We have the little tabs here for the pannier racks, pannier bags to hook onto. Those are on the outside. We've kind of aligned it here so that when the bike is sitting flush on the ground, this is as level as it can be. Now this is subject to change here depending on seat height and then the distance and frame size. This will just be as close to as level as possible, but we don't need it to be perfect. So the next step would be to take the battery. This is our rack battery here. Comes with the rear light that switches on and off. On the bottom here, this is the power switch to turn the power on and off, the master switch. There's also a port here for the charging, as well as a indicator for the battery power once the battery is turned on. So this should all just slide in nicely here. We have a locking mechanism on the other side. You want to put that in the lock position so that the battery doesn't bounce out of the bike when you're riding along. The controller for the bike, the controller is going to fit just in this little pocket here on the rack. So when we do the final mock-up of all the cables and how it's going to look, we're going to have this tucked away inside. We're going to just have the little bit of cable showing through here, and there will be an excess of cable, but at which points we can kind of wrap it up nicely underneath the rack here, zap strap it all together, make it look nice and neat. Okay. And don't forget, we have a cover here, and this will be all one unit.